This is a cricket podcast.
I have some exciting news. Joe Root has just hit a 4.
Two mates obsessed with the game.
Did say in an early episode this season that Henry Shipley is going to be a superstar.
Covering all the on-field action.
Big news that was kind of glossed over on the internet, but Jimmy Neesham will return to the BlackCaps.
This is the Back of a Length podcast.
Namaste, listeners. I have some exciting news for you. This is our latest podcast episode. Yes, that's right. This is our latest podcast episode. Hello and welcome to a special Steve Smith version of the Back of a Length podcast. I am not Steve Smith, I am Mark. I am here with Renee.
You sound so animated when you introduce yourself as not Steve Smith.
I know, I had to make the difference between how... Yeah, I just thought people would get really confused.
They would,
yeah.
Oh
my God, is that the English Steve Smith? I did consider doing it in an Australian accent.
I'm glad you didn't. If you have not heard the Steve Smith video, it is blown up on Twitter since Monday night. This is the audio of Steve Smith talking.
Namaste, India. I've got some exciting news for you. I'm joining IPL 2023. Yes, that's right. I'm joining an exceptional and passionate team in India.
Mark, is Steve Smith okay?
Well, I think he's got what he wanted out of it. He's got 3.2 million views on that video, and that's just on Twitter.
And that's probably half of them are me, because I have watched this so many times. I was literally like crying with laughter the other night watching this. Like, what is it? What is this?
I think the other half is probably the FBI looking at it in fine detail, looking at the background, trying to figure out where his kidnappers are keeping him at the moment, because there is no way that he did that video without being at gunpoint.
So I reshared this and I was like, I'm trying to be a bit nicer on Twitter, and I'm like, okay, great that Steve Smith's in a team. And I was like, this has got to be AI generated. So some people have come back and said, is he a robot? Why isn't he blinking? Is he auditioning for Rain Man? How many takes is this? Like, is this the first take, or is there more? Is he just reading off cue cards with no emotion whatsoever? And this is my personal favourite question I got.
Yeah.
Someone asked me, do you think Steve Smith was a cheat from his South African scandal? And honestly, I gave him the benefit of the doubt and thought, no. You know what? He got caught up in something, but he didn't know about it. But after seeing this video, I am not convinced that Steve Smith didn't know about it. Like, this is just throwing my entire thought pattern about Steve Smith.
See, I will offer an alternative view on that, and I think if you watch this video, you're looking at a man who cannot produce tears to benefit a crowd.
But he did.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I think that he probably was genuinely, like, remorseful and stuff like that. He's just, like, you can't make a robot cry, right?
No.
On demand, which is what he would have had to do, and that's exactly what he is from many perspectives, but mainly for this video, 100% is in the next adaptation of RoboCop. Or C-3PO. He looks like is this C-3PO? He's Australian C-3PO.
I think it might be.
Yeah. Namaste, India. I have some exciting news for you.
So the greatest thing is that the theory about this video, about Steve Smith releasing it and having this announcement, is that he's going to be joining the IPL commentary team. So this is how he announces it, with the most mundane video and awkward pauses that you can imagine. Like, is this what we should expect from Steve Smith at the commentary?
I'm really, really excited. The thing I'm excited most about for this season's IPL is muting the commentary. But on the flip side of that,
right.
the IPL. I have some exciting news. Joe Root has just hit a 4. Yes, that's right. 4 runs to Joe Root. Do you know what the thing is, right? He's so knowledgeable about the game because he literally is 25-8 cricket, but he just doesn't give me the voice that inspires me to want to listen. However, the IPL is on at a terrible time for New Zealand, so if I am struggling to sleep,
yes,
Steve Smith, thank you, sir. Thank you in advance for helping me with my sleep problems.
Okay, as we said, that video is all over Twitter. We have shared it on our social medias at back of a link with a little underscore if you want to go have a look and see what on earth we're talking about and what has been haunting my nightmares for the past few nights.
Yes, it has been haunting your nightmares. I really hope that this kicks off his social media content. I hope he now understands what he did wrong and that he just gets the butt of the joke going forwards. Like, every video that he releases has to be like this now.
Oh, absolutely. And no
worry
blinking.
whether it'll be intentional or not, or whether it's just that's how he is. Imagine him in team meetings, be like, guys, we need to score more runs than the opposition to win the game. Yes, you heard me. Score more runs than the opposition. You go out there with a real fire in your belly, wouldn't you? Ozzy to be like, oh yeah, bro.
It must be inspiring, though. It must have been inspiring because they were top of the world when Steve Smith was captain. So he's doing something right. These speeches.
Well, he's gone off to Bunnings to get some sandpaper, isn't he? That's how they're the top of the
true.
world. Mitchell Stark hasn't taken a bloody wicket since. Anyway, moving on from the Steve Smith chat.
Yes.
ODI got played, just the one.
Just the one ODI at Eden Park on Saturday. So New Zealand having a bat first and posting 274 bowled out in 49.3 overs. So 3 balls short of making their 50 overs. A couple of highlights from that New Zealand scorecard. Finn Allen with 51 of 49. Great to see him get a little bit of form and a little bit of a extended run in an ODI, because that has been a contention lately. Can Finn Allen play an ODI? A great score from Daryl Mitchell with 47, Glenn Phillips with 39, and a nice little score from Rachin Ravindra actually on debut in the squad, 49 of 52. So some good performances. Unfortunately, the rest of the players are getting lower scores, which meant the BlackCaps only ended up on 274.
Yeah, it looked... I didn't see much of the game, I'll be honest. I was really busy on Saturday because I have a social life these days, apparently. I know, I was with a friend. But it looked to be a little bit of a sticky wicket, so those scores, there was only, Blair Titner scored 6 off 4, so his strike rate was 150, and Finn Allen with a strike rate of 104, but yeah, really good to see that he played the longer innings. He wasn't trying to get 51 off 20. He paced his innings and he caught up, and he's got the ability to do that, right? And we've said this for a long time, is that if you give yourself 3 or 4 overs, whether it be 20-20 or whether it be 50 over, he's powerful enough to play catch up.
Yeah, he really is.
So really good to see that he was able to do that. And yeah, just really disappointing that Ravindra couldn't get a 50 on debut.
I know, he was so close. Yeah, I thought he was going to do it, but unfortunately not. But really great that he got a decent 49. He got so close. Because we've been calling Rachin Ravindra to get into one of the Black Cap squads for a long time, and he's just this young player. He can bowl some spin. I think that he should be in and around one of the squads. We know we've called for him to come into the test squad, but hey, I'll take an ODI squad.
Yeah, I actually think that he'd been brought into this ODI squad with the World Cup in mind, being in India, because he is, if you've got the likes of him, Sodhi and Phillips, you've got 3 players there, 2 batsmen who can bowl spin, and then you've got your genuine spinner in Sodhi, so it adds a lot of balance to the side. And then you look at the likes of the players who'd be coming in there as well. So you've got obviously Devon Conway, Kane Williamson. That then adds a lot of strength to the batting order.
Correct, yeah.
So they can be your sort of part-time spinners and lower order hitters. And they've proven that they can do that. Unlike Tom Latham, who obviously was still in Test match mode, 5 runs off 17 balls with a strike rate of 29.
I'll forgive him because he did so well in the test matches. All right, 274, you're thinking not enough at Eden Park, small boundaries. And then Sri Lanka collapsed.
They got Shipleyed.
I love that.
Thank you. Just came to me. Yeah, they just never got going.
No. They didn't. There's actually, what do you say about a team that got out for 76 and 19.5 overs, bowled by I believe Henry Shipley on debut. No, not on debut, but was only playing about
debut in New Zealand.
Debut New Zealand, yeah. It's on about second or
ODI
third
debut in New
game.
Zealand.
Yeah, having played a couple over in India.
Yep, he bowled really well.
He's
bowled
great.
his usual sort of areas, really. There was a beautiful delivery to get rid of Nissanka, I think it was. Clean bowled him through the gate. That was a beautiful delivery. Yeah, I was just looking through the scores, and I was going to say, they were really struggling at 31 for 5, but then they only went on to make 76, so they just lost wickets all the way through. 14 for 1, 14 for 2, 20 for 3, 31 for 4, 31 for 5, 46 for 6. You're not going to be able to recover from that. So, yeah, disappointing for Sri Lanka. And that was the last ODI they've played in New Zealand, because the second game today got rained off.
It sure did, and we'd like to see Henry Shipley back in Christchurch on his home ground. Just want to say, Mark, it is gratifying for us to basically have something we've said come true, because we did say in an early episode this season that Henry Shipley is going to be a superstar. So look back through our catalogue and see our thoughts on Henry Shipley that we brought up just as he was announced into that squad. And keep an eye on him, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be a superstar, even though Mitchell McClenaghan said no. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, what does he know? Looking at the forecast for Friday for Hamilton's looking pretty good, 21 and sunny, so more chance of a game being played there, and Sri Lanka have the last opportunity there to kind of put some more respectability towards this series.
Yes, they do, and they also are hanging on to automatically qualifying to the ODI World Cup by a thread. They need to win. Otherwise, they will have to go into the playoffs that are played in the weeks leading up to that game. And it also puts South Africa in a much stronger position. So, yes, a lot for Sri Lanka to come back for.
Yeah. Would you, not that anybody ever throws a game, but would you rather New Zealand lost their game on Friday and Sri Lanka automatically qualified, and put South Africa in some strife, or would you rather just New Zealand win?
Obviously, I want New Zealand to win, but I then would rather Sri Lanka went through than South Africa, only because South Africa forfeited 3 games in Australia in order to play their T20 tournament earlier this year, and it really, really rubbed me the wrong way. Even though South Africa probably would have lost, the fact that they forfeited an international series is kind of disgusting to me.
Yeah, obviously not prioritising the World Cup, so therefore should they go through the qualifiers and see how much of a priority they actually do give it. We'll find out, I guess, after Friday's result, which we will bring you next week. And then we move into the T20 series starting at Eden Park on Sunday, which I'm really looking forward to, actually. I've not been to an international T20 for a while.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this too. Nice Sunday afternoon at Eden Park. Some familiar names in the squad. Tom Latham will continue to captain the squad. Chad Bowes could be poised for an international T20 debut following his ODI debut over the weekend. We've got Chapman, Henry, Ben Lister getting another shot, and a Milne returning from injury. Hopefully he can take the field. That would be very exciting. I know, Daryl Mitchell will be there, Ravinder, Shipley, Sodhi, Will Young, and big news that was kind of glossed over on the internet, but Jimmy Neesham will return to the BlackCaps.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
I think that's fair enough. He's a good player, right? And he's not playing in any international tournaments, so having said that, as much as I say that, like, obviously Trent Bolt was available during the England series, wasn't playing any overseas tournaments, and didn't get picked for the BlackCaps, but I feel like Jimmy Neesham's slightly different because he wasn't offered a central contract.
Correct.
Right? So he went to go and play overseas, whereas Trent Bolt decided not to take a central contract. So I don't mind Jimmy Neesham playing for New Zealand if he gets picked, essentially.
I think that there also is a big difference between a test team and a short form team, and I think that New Zealand need to make sure their players are getting enough game time leading into a World Cup if Jimmy Neesham is still in contention for that World Cup.
I was about to ask,
do
you put him in the squad?
Well, I can only assume that he wasn't playing the ODI squad due to a timing issue, coming back from the Pakistan League. I think I would like to see him in the squad, but I'm just wondering where he would slot in. If you've got Daryl Mitchell playing really well, New Zealand really seem to be liking Glenn Phillips and Michael Bracewell, so I'm actually not quite sure where Jimmy Neesham would go.
Yeah, that's the question, right? If you've got somebody like Daryl Mitchell, who it would be between him and Jimmy Neesham, Darren Mitchell and Jimmy Neesham. Darren Mitchell's playing okay, but I personally would go with Jimmy Neesham.
I think I would.
Destructive factor.
I would go with Daryl Mitchell. I think he's in the form of his life. He's just won the New Zealand Cricketer of the Year, Men's Cricketer of the Year award. So yeah, I'm in the Daryl Mitchell camp.
Interesting. Fair enough. A good job we're not on the selection panel, and otherwise we would have quite a few disagreements about this.
And Will Young would play every game if I was on the selection panel.
Good God, New Zealand cricket, please listen to this episode and don't let her anywhere near the decisions.
Okay. All the action of those games over on our socials, as we said, at Back of a Length on Twitter and Back of a Length on Instagram and on Facebook. Let's wrap up with our favourite segment, the first 11 of the week. Of the week.
Are we changing it? Of the week.
I just change it every week.
I know, and you never let me know beforehand, so I just go off on a random tangent, thinking that it's the same as what it was when we initially did it, and we were like, oh, that sounds cool. We'll make that the actual jingle, and then you, as our official editor, just decided not to do that. Cheers, mate. Anyway,
You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry. First 11 of the week.
Of the week.
We'll
yes, that's right. It's time for the first 11.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks for leading us in there, mate.
Okay, I'm actually inspired by Steve Smith for this week's first 11. I've gone for the first 11 of players that have turned into commentators. Now, I will say this was basically made on the sideline, I believe, at the Bay Oval a couple years ago, with names just being yelled at me. So don't come at me if you don't think these are the best. But in at 1, David Lloyd. In at 2, David Gower. In at 3, Brendan McCullum, before he went and became a coach. 4, Mike Hussey. 5, Brian Lara. 6, the legendary Kiwi Ian Smith. 7 is Adam Gilchrist. 8, Kerry O'Keefe. 9, Michael Holding. 10, Ian Bishop. 11, Phil Toffnell. And I will say, we made this before the Spark Sport commentary, because I just want to give a massive shout out to Frankie Mackay, because I also think she's an incredible commentator.
I think her and Casey Martin have actually done really well. Like, Casey Martin's analysis is on point.
She's also so
really
funny.
She is, yeah. She just has a great time. She really enjoys it. So, yeah, shout out to both of those. Yeah, some good names on there. Some good cricketers. Bumble's my favourite. David Lloyd.
I love Bumble.
100% number one. He just didn't care what he said.
And he's so smart. I really like Bumble.
Yeah.
Captain of the team.
Yeah, good effort. Good work. That is our episode for the week. Short and sweet, just like Renee. Not like me. I'm 6 foot something.
I'm 5'8".
Are you 5'8"?
Yeah.
Alright, scratch that. Short and sweet, not like either of us.
A bit like Sri Lanka's innings. That wasn't that sweet.
Yeah, that's a much better one. Yeah, join us on the socials. Let us know what your thoughts are on Steve Smith. Is he a hostage? Is he AI, artificial intelligence? Is he a robot? Is he just Steve? Just being Steve. Back of a Length with a little underscore on Twitter, and Back of a Length on Facebook and Instagram. If you're around on Sunday, let us know. We'll be there at the T20 Eden Park. There's probably going to be about 30,000 free seats, so there should be some by us. So let us know.
Yes, come and say hi. Otherwise, we will catch you next week. Bye.